Hello. Okay, that was pretty awkward, but it took me years to realize about this, so I really do want to talk about it. So basically, have you ever been in a relationship where you tried so hard to change the person because you want the relationship to change, or you tried to change the person because you thought loving them harder will make them change? Talk about the brutal truth on how you actually cannot change anybody. Now let's be honest, I think it is very obvious. We all know that we cannot change a person who doesn't want to change. We can inspire them, we can challenge them, we can, awaken something in them, but we cannot really change a person who doesn't want to change. That's rule number 1. Very obvious. Now, you can give your love, your effort, your time, your energy, everything. You can show them what real love is. You can show them what real connection is. You can show them what true love or like real connection and relationship means to them. But if they don't see the need to grow, if they're not willing to confront their own flaws, their own mistake, or their pattern, they will basically stay the same. It is just they just automatically do that. Because real change comes from within, not from guilt, not from pressure, not even from the love that you gave to them. It comes from willingness, awareness, and also action that they take in the future. So yeah, most of the times you're not gonna be the main reason why they change. That's why when you caught your partner cheating and then they will cheat again, because the guilt, the everything that you thought will change them will never change them. They will do it all over again because they won't change. They won't stop unless they wanted to. Based on my past relationship, if there is one thing or like one reason why I really wanted them to change, it's because I saw potential in them. The potential, the daydream, the picture, the image of them that I made in my head because I saw that. But the truth is, it's just all in my imagination. I was delulu basically. So while I was waiting for them to change, I had this question in my head, when I was like so delusional about everything because I saw the potential. I asked myself, am I really in love with this person right now, or am I in love with the potential that they have? And I got my answer, because the more I saw the potential, or the more I was in love with the potential, I was stuck in this cycle of false hope, endless waiting, and starvation basically, because I keep waiting for something to happen when in reality nothing is going to happen, nothing is going to change, not even the person, not even the whole situation. Until at some point I do realize that the more I wait for them to change, the more I lose myself. And that's when I feel like, that's when I felt the urge to finally leave them alone, because that's what, that's the best I could do at the moment. And trust me when I say this, okay, this is gonna be, this is gonna sound so stupid, but back then I tried so hard to change this one particular person that I used to love so much with full of my heart and my soul. I poured everything, love, energy, time, power, everything you can name, all of them. And I clearly showed them, the right path. But at the end, if they're not willing to see it, they won't see it. And that's when I realized that I just had to stop everything. Hurts like a bitch, but that's all I could do. Oh my god, sorry. Well, it hurts, but in the end, I only, I ended up heartbroken, drained, and I was just thinking what more, I could have done for this person, when in reality, I already gave them so much that I barely had for myself. So, yeah, 0 out of 10 would never recommend to do that again. Okay, if there is one thing, no, actually 3 things that I want you to really keep in mind, okay? Really put this in the back of your head, okay, when I say this. First, you're not their savior. Second, you're not their fucking therapist. And third, which the most important, okay, listen, you're not responsible for fixing the parts of them that they refuse to confront. AKA, you're not responsible for fixing parts of them that they won't change, basically. Keep that in mind. Because people don't change because you love them enough. They change when they realize they need to. And sadly, most of the times, that realization doesn't come until they already lost what mattered. And I knew, as someone who was also delusional, you might think of something like, oh my god, they must actually see it, like they must saw it, like saw the effort, everything that I did for them. Well, the brutal truth is that they knew how to treat you better, they just didn't want to. As simple as that. You know, the terms of if they wanted to, they would, it applies here, okay? If they wanted to grow, they would have already. If they are cared enough, they would have tried. If they respected you, you wouldn't be feeling like this. So just, just stop. You're not the exception. You're not gonna be the one who's gonna change them. No, you're not. That fantasy, that's bullshit. It's killing you slowly, really. At the end, you will also realize that you're not in love. You are just attached to a lie. Because the more you hold on to this person, the more you're trying to prove your point to this person that you really wanted them to change, the more of yourself you're gonna lose trying to save someone who is perfectly fine watching you drawn or watching you literally did everything. It is the biggest form of disrespect. So just stand up for yourself this time, really. Now, here's my final truth to close this video. I just want you to really know, if you had to try so hard, to work this hard just for them to treat you right, then they're simply not the one. They never were. So instead, why don't you change the pattern? Why don't you change yourself instead? Because again, you don't have control over other people, but you do have full control over yourself. So stand up for yourself, walk away from that situation that you do not want to get involved, and move on. Forget everything from the past. Okay, maybe not forget, but still move on from that situation, because eventually God will always give you something better. Trust me, nothing is better from walking away and upgrading your value instead of being stuck in the past, wondering where the hell you went wrong. Nothing was wrong. You did your best. Now it's time for you to go look and find something better, other than trying to change someone who doesn't even want to change.